Good morning, guys. Today on Customer States What, we'll be going through a major service on a 2015 A4 Allroad. Major service, we have an engine air filter, we have a cabin air filter, we also have spark plugs. I already performed the oil change where we suck it out, giggity, and as you can see we have a factory oil filter installed. We'll also be doing a brake fluid exchange, and we will also be doing an exhaust sleeve. Very good. So you know, guys, let's take it up top and get into this repair. Here are the tools required for the major service. We have a T30 Torx, we have a 10mm swivel, we have a 3/8 electric ratchet. We have my homemade special tool spark plug installer remover. We have a 5/8 spark plug socket on a 3/8 extension. We have a pick. We have a 3/8 torque wrench. And we have a pry tool. T30. Oh, we actually don't need the 10mm. Oh, I made a goomba move. The 10mm is for the newer coils where they're all held in by 10mm. All right, never mind. We don't need that 10mm. Very good. You're gonna need a needle nose also, guys. Disconnect these connectors here so we could maneuver the harness a little better. Each one of these connectors has these safety tabs you got to pull up. Doing this will give you a little bit more slack in the harness so you could disconnect it from the coil packs. Very good. Now usually these will come out in one piece. Keep them in order. You want the coils to go back exactly where they came from. This one's a little trickier. You got to be very careful on where you pry. Do not want to break the PCV. So you got to be very gentle. You have to use good feel. And you have to push up at the same time right here when you get them out. One. Two. Three. And four. Spark plugs are out. So, now that the service is done, you're gonna go with all your friends, see? Meet your friends. So big shout out to Elvis if he's still a teacher at Apex Tech in NYC, he taught me this little trick here. Out of normal shop air hose, if you got a bad one, just cut it off, make a little piece, and you make a spark plug installer. And what this does is it makes it pretty simple to install a spark plug. It's very hard to cross thread a spark plug with this. And also, if you have to replace spark plugs in a real weird position or hard to reach area, you could bend this just like that and still stick it in. Giggity. See, like I could still install this spark plug and have it fully bent. Alright. So big shout out to Elvis. If you still work at Apex Tech, man, I still use this. And of course, we always put a little bit of high temp NICs on the threads of the spark plug. Not a lot, just enough, because you don't want to screw over the next guy who does the spark plugs, because you never know. You just might be the next guy. Now, factory plugs, they all come pre-gapped. You could always check them if you'd like, just to be sure. That's the one consistent thing about these plugs. The gaps are always pretty good and they're stored pretty well. See, just a little bit, just a little bit. Now the torque spec on these spark plugs is 30 Newton meters of torqueations. We're going to torque them down. 30 Newton meters. Now for the coil installation, I always like to put dielectric grease in. Just like so. One. Two. Three. And last one, 4. Line up all your connectors. Four snaps, very good. Connect all your oil control valves. And make sure to push the safety tab down. Now we got one last thing to install there. It's C30. Spark plugs are installed. Now to replace the engine air filter, you need a flat-headed screwdriver for here, and you need a T30 for 6 screws right here. One, 2, in. Four, 5, 6. Flip this up. Remove. Replace. Install. Come on, get in there. Oh, sometimes I guess it can be a little tricky. You gotta get that all the way in the box. Yeah, that's definitely a giggity. There we go. Start off with the middle hardware first. If you're using an electric gun, set it to a low power because you're using metal screws screwing into plastic and you could strip the hole. If that's giggity, take it for what you will. Those are all tight. Remember, hose clamps, they got to be straight. That's how you do the engine air filter. Let's get to the cabin air filter now. As you see, we moved to the interior. We're on the passenger floor right now, and we're going to replace the cabin air filter. So we have a twist clip here. There's 3 total. There's 1. 2. And 3 over here. That'll allow you to take this down. And here's our, oh, light moved. Here's our cabin air filter. This door right here, you slide to the right, it comes down. And the cabin air filter, as you can see, is well overdue to replace. Just pull out. Now, note the shape and the orientation of the way this came out, because it has to go in the same way it came out. Giggity. So, yeah. Here is the brand new filter. OEM. Installed. Just line up the holes, which is a little more difficult for others. All lined up now perfectly, and then we just twist these little guys back in. 1, 2, and 3. That's how to replace the cabin air filter. So here we have exhaust sleeve replacement. wiggle, 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 wiggle. Here's the old one, here's the new one. Slip it in, 13 millimeter. Push it together. So this is how we perform a brake fluid exchange. This is our special tool. We have it hooked up to the master cylinder there. We crack open our bleeder into our reservoir, and then we flip the switch there to supply air. Well, not air, but supply pressurized fluid through the master, and it pushes out all the old fluid. Now I have a clear tube here. If the brake fluid is really, really dark, you'll be able to see the color change from dark fluid to clear fluid. So guys, today we went through a major service, a exhaust sleeve replacement, and we have just shown you how to perform a brake fluid exchange. So with the brake fluid exchange, we start with the left front, then work our way to the right front, then to the left rear, and then to the right rear. So guys, thank you. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification for further content.